Coming up on Michigan Replay, the Wolverines open up Big Ten play with a big win over a tough Iowa team. We'll have the highlights. We'll also meet a wide receiver convert from quarterback who's now right at home catching rather than pitching. And we'll look ahead and scout a much-improved Indiana Hoosier squad that Michigan will meet on the road. All that and more coming up next. Michigan Replay with Lloyd Carr is brought to you in part by Abso Pure Water, delivering quality bottled water since 1908. By Chevrolet. Stop by your Detroit area Chevy dealers or log on to DetroitAreaChevyDealers.com. And by State Farm, providing insurance and financial services. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Michigan Replay. Well, the Wolverines open up their Big Ten season with a 30-17 win over Iowa. Good work.
Well, good work by this football team. The home opener, the Big Ten.
And that's what counts, the Big Ten, right?
You don't want to start with your back against the wall, and that's what happens if you lose the opener, Jim.
And this was a physical, tough, hard-fought football game on Saturday, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And defensively, you said against San Diego State a week ago they were magnificent. Well, two magnificent ones in a row.
Yeah, I think they were outstanding. Clearly, our defense is setting the pace on this team. I think our offense is making some progress, our special teams, but our defense with the turnovers, I mean, we've had more turnovers, Jim, than in any similar period that I can ever recall.
One of the things you said, though, in the offseason, you said in order to be a good defense, you got to get the turnovers. And you made it a point about that ever since last year.
Well, I think our defensive coaches have really done a good job teaching it. I think our players have really bought into it. But more than anything else, it comes from getting a lot of people around the football, pressuring the quarterback, and we've been able to do that.
Take a look here. Early in the game, the defense got that first drive of Iowa was pretty impressive.
Well, a play action, they get the tight end, a very well executed play by Iowa. Ryan Mundy makes a hit there, but it got him a great field position, and then Tate hits the receiver down in here for very good yardage.
That's Solomon for 23.
After a penalty. We helped them out with a penalty on this drive, and then they roll out and give the quarterback time, and he makes a great catch there. Hinkle, their junior wide receiver.
At that point, it's 7-0 Iowa. Then you come back and you start moving the football. You get a break from them, and you start moving the football.
Well, we had a fourth down holding call that gave us allowed us to keep the ball. And here Jason Avant, Chad Henne hit some good protection. And this kid is doing some good things. Here again, Braylon Edwards made a couple of great catches on this day, and that was one of them.
And this is what you don't like seeing. This is what you wanted to stop, is the turnover.
Well, we got great field position here, and we just don't secure the football, and they get a hand in there and poke it away. And those are the things that have hurt us much of this season offensively.
And after you stop them, you get the ball back. Here's another nice pass to Jason Avant. Then a real nice screen to Mike Hart.
Well, great blocking here. If you watch David Boss, there's one block. Avant's a block, a second block by Boss, a great football play, well executed. Mike Hart makes a good run.
Then you come back, here's Mike Hart again, going for 7.
Well, very good blocking. There's a big hole there.
And this is against a good run defense.
Yeah, well, there's 4 All-American candidates there on that defense, and they're all outstanding players. Into the win, Garrett Rivas hits a long field goal. I debated whether to punt the football, and I asked him, I said, can you make it?
And he did.
Said yes.
And he did.
So I sent him in there.
At that point, it's 7-3. Then your defense really steps up. This is the pressure you were talking about.
Well, you know, there's David Harris, who missed last year, who's got a significant playing time in this game. And, of course, this Lamar Woodley made a great play there. And Lawrence Reed makes, I think, one of the hardest hits of the day, causes a fumble. And Ernest Shazor, and you see there, Jim, we got a lot of people around the football.
And you go right for the big play, and Braylon Edwards delivers.
Well, we talked all week long about going after the corners and trying to hit some big plays. That is an unbelievable catch. From my vantage point, I thought he was well covered, and Braylon just used his athletic ability and made a great play. I think that's the biggest play of the game.
At that point, you're up
Great
10-7.
Great play by Roy Manning there to cause him to punt the football.
And there's a great interception by Leon Hall. Again, pressure from Jackson forced a bad throw.
Well, I think Jim Herman and those defensive coaches put together a great game plan. There was, in that case, I think the pressure had impacted the play. And here we come back with a well-executed play to Braylon. Gets us down there inside the one. And now we took advantage of a defensive turnover here, Jim, and got a touchdown with Chad Henne sneaking in.
Well, now you miss the extra point, so it's 16-7. And then you come back and your defense continues to put pressure on Tate.
Well, you know, there again, Pat Massey comes up with the play, but Roy Manning forced the quarterback to come back inside, and Massey continued to play hard and came up with a big play.
16-7.5. The defense has been relentless since the opening drive. As you left the field, what was going through your mind about where you were in this game?
Well, anytime you miss an extra point, it really changes the complexion of the game, because instead of a touchdown and a field goal, we're 3 field goals up. And so we understood that we had played an extremely good half of football, but we had to continue to play that well in the second half.
All right, when we come back, we'll take a look at that second half. But first, we hear from Chad Henne saying a good passing game means everybody's on the same page.
When you come out and you throw for 200 yards in the first half, it's great. It shows that the line's blocking well, the receivers are catching the ball, and we're doing things right.
Michigan Replay takes you inside the locker room.
We always expect a lot of turnover because we practice so hard at it in practice, you know, and it's come natural to us. And you see out in the field, big plays.
Wolverines had the lead at halftime, and going to the second half, you get the ball. It didn't start, I'm sure, the way you want to do, is you go 3 and out and kick it back to them.
Well, it's certainly we wanted to take the football, and really we would have had a chance to take control of the game. And Iowa came out that locker room ready to play, just like they did the opening quarter.
Well, they get some
ran the
yardage
sweep,
on the ground.
Did some play action pass, and then Jackson, Tate throws the ball up, and Jackson just makes a great play.
And this is where sometimes the other guys just execute.
Sometimes they make a play, and that was definitely one of them. And here, a young guy, Sean Crable, using his height, he's about 6'6", jumped up, and that's the best defense there is against the screen.
And they get the field goal on a real fourth and very short, but that gets them to 16-10 at that point. And, you know, it's a tight game going down the end of the third quarter.
Absolutely, and that's normally the way it is. Here, we get a break because on the handoff exchange, the ball hits a fullback's hand and bounces loose, and Scott McClintock missed Tuesday and Wednesday practice, but came back and got a lot of treatment.
How about that young freshman running hard, Mike Hart?
That's an excellent run, and that's a well-blocked play there over the left side with Leo Hennege and Adam Stenovich, and that's what you like to see. We did a good job blocking.
Here's a great fumble you caused. Manning caused it, but Watson and Woodley were in on it.
I think Gabe Watson made a great play there to force the ball to cut back, and we came up with another turnover at the short end of the field.
And you're going into the fourth quarter now, and you got good field position.
Well, some of these passes, the timing routes here, I thought Chad was very accurate on. And when you give Braylon the football on an accurate pass, he can make something happen with it. And here, Michael Hart just trying to get extra yardage, lets himself get stripped of the football, and he'll learn from that.
But your defense steps up in the sudden change and really does a great job. And it turns out to be in your favor because you get a pick for a touchdown.
Well, Jim, it's obvious to me that Lamar Woodley had his best game since he's been at Michigan. And, of course, I think Gabe Watson did as well. And this kid, Grant Mason, who is one of the few guys transferred in here from Stanford University, wanted to come back close to home. And he's been a real contributor to our special teams, and there makes as good an interception return for a touchdown as you'll see.
And that puts you up 30-10, and
Actually, the game looks like you got it well in hand, but then they come back. This is a scramble and a big play.
Well, and you know, you got to give Tate credit there. He has the presence of mind to find a guy down the field. And here we got a 4th down play, and they line up off sides. The quarterback scrambles around in for a touchdown, but it's called back.
Offsides, you got a break on that.
Well, yeah, but there's no question. Here's a great pass rush by Sean Crable, and those things are going to happen there once in a while. He ended up getting the helmet, and they get a penalty, or we get the penalty. They get a first down, and then Tate hits Hinkle, the outstanding junior receiver, for his 2nd touchdown of the day.
And they get a 30-17 at this point. And there's still some time left in the game. You need to get some first downs. And look at this determination by Braylon Edwards.
Well, every first down in what we call the 4-minute offense is critical because it allows you more time to run off the clock. Here, Gabe Watson makes a great play on the quarterback draw. And we're getting ready here to nail this thing down.
And this is a 4th down play. Big rush from Lamar Woodley.
Well, Lamar's really got a hand on there. I think disrupted the quarterback, and we come out of here with a very good win.
30-17 in your conference opener against Iowa, a team that is a very good football team, very physical football game. You said earlier when we started, the offense is kind of a work in progress, but it's getting better each game. You can see more things coming, can't you?
Well, I think, Jim, we made a change with David Boss moving to center this week. We put Leo Hennigy in there at left guard. We've got a big, strong, physical line, and I think we opened some holes there today, and obviously these 2 young freshmen are getting better, but they got a lot of people around them. I think Braylon Edwards played as fine a game as he's played at Michigan.
And how about young Chad Henne? He's coming around too. You said after that first drive that you like to look in his eye.
Well, I think he has an uncommon poise and composure that is essential to having some success at this level as a freshman, because there's a lot of things that are going on, and if you get rattled, if you get distracted, it impacts your entire team. So, but I think his teammates have done a great job supporting him and making him feel letting him know that they support him and are with him.
Well, it sure has been a good job. The defense is stepping up and the offense is coming around, and it should be a good run as Michigan heads down the road in the Big Ten. When we come back, we'll take a look at a quarterback who now plays wide receiver, but he's still a great story. But first, we hear from Grant Mason, who says, "A pick for a score is a special moment indeed."
We were just in zone coverage, and dropped back. I seen the quarterback looking right at me, and let it go. And I seen the ball, I just went and got it. Guess a little bit of my old wide receiver got in me. Seen the ball, I had to go get it, and after I caught it, man, I seen the end zone, and I looked, and all my teammates was running with me. And I made one cut, and I got to about the 5-yard line. I felt one of my guys just grab me and throw me in the end zone. I think it was Roy Manning. He threw me in the end zone, man. So I like to thank really everybody on the defense out there, because they all picked up blocks. Everybody was, we practice it every day. We get an interception, take it up the sideline, get into the end zone.
The Rolling Stones rock group once wrote a lyric for a song, "You can't always get what you want." For Wolverine Jermaine Gonzalez, that lyric holds a great truth. He came out of Orchard Lake St. Mary's as a highly touted quarterback, but with John Navarre and Drew Henson around, Jermaine's opportunity as a quarterback was limited. So Gonzalez was asked to switch to wide receiver. And even though he still wanted to play quarterback, he looked past that to something bigger.
It was actually kind of a struggle for me to, make that final decision that, sticking with receiver. But at the time, I was going through it like, I've been having my family, telling me one thing and, friends telling me one thing. But, I had to just, pray about it and come to make my own decision. and, you know, decide what I really want to do. And, you know, I wanted to go switch and, you know, play receiver.
Gonzalez will fire it on a screen to Marquise Walker. Now he throws it back to Gonzalez near side. Here he comes up the sideline. 40, 50 with blockers. 40, 35, 30. He'll be run out of bounds down at the Illinois 21-yard line.
I just, you know, always in my head, you know, wanted to put the team first, and I knew me being on the field or me doing, you know, something else that can help better the team in any way, you know, I was willing to do that.
The decision was tough, but the results were spectacular. Not long after the switch, he was standing in the end zone catching a touchdown pass against Michigan State.
That was a standout play for me because, you know, it was actually, you know, probably one of my first few times that I actually, you know, got a chance to play receiver. And like the first time I got out there, the ball came my way, and, you know, I caught a touchdown pass. So that was a pretty memorable moment.
Jermaine will graduate from Michigan this December. He will continue to contribute to his team's success. And while he didn't always get what he wanted, he learned a valuable lesson in the process.
You know, there's a lot of guys I know, I see that, you know, probably been in the same situation I have been in, and, you know, they pout about it, or, you know, they turn the other cheek, and, you know, they hold grudges. You know, I just try to look at it, at the positive aspect of it, and, you know, just be grateful for what I have. You know, I'm here, you know what I'm saying? I'm still on the football team, still got opportunity to help, you know, make the team better. So, you know, like you said, just run with it.
Sometimes can't get what you want, but if you try real hard, you sometimes get what you need.
Well, Jim, you know, a long time ago I played quarterback. I know how hard, I know how tough that thing was for Jermaine Gonzalez. I think I love that kid. And the thing I admire the most is that what kind of guy he is, the way he's handled it, and I truly believe before this season's over, he's going to do some great things for this team.
And teammates respect that about a guy,
absolutely,
don't they?
Absolutely.
And that's what makes Jermaine Gonzalez special. When we come back, we'll scout the Indiana Hoosiers. They're next on Michigan's schedule, so keep it tuned right there for that. But first, we'll hear from Braylon Edwards, who says you just can't look past anyone in the Big Ten.
You can never underestimate anybody, and you can never take anybody for granted. Indiana is going to be jacked up for this game, and they're going to play a heck of a game. So when we go down there to Indiana, we got to play our game. We can't play like we're playing in Indiana from the past. We got to play as if it's a Big Ten championship on line, which it is.
Michigan Replay takes you inside the locker room.
They're no team in the Big Ten's a pushover, especially because they're trying to come with their best game to us. So we just we're gonna come out and be ready.
You got to come out and be ready. Indiana's a team that Michigan has to play next year on the road at Bloomington. This is a team that went into Oregon and beat Oregon. Okay, now they lost to Michigan State on Saturday, but they've got some players.
Well, they had the lead, and Jim, they're gonna do the things that Jerry DiNardo asked them to do, and that is to be tough and be physical, run the football.
You like Jerry DiNardo?
I have great respect for him, and I think he's done a great job there.
And the thing he's got is some players. I mean, Matt LaVecchio, their quarterback, he's a kid that started at Notre Dame.
Started at Notre Dame and led them to a 10-win season, and he's a very smart, heady guy that makes very few mistakes.
And you say they will like to run the ball. They're sound, and Ben Jarvis Green Ellis is a guy that's got some speed and can go the distance.
Well, this Green is 3.6 yards a carry and 103 carries a year ago. He's a very, very tough, competitive football player.
And you think this kid is one of a pro prospect?
Well, there's a lot of guys in the NFL think that he is one of the better prospects in this conference.
Defensively, Victor Adeyanju is a defensive end, 6'4", 270, that can do a great job and get things done. Kyle Killian is a solid middle linebacker, and they got a great free safety in Hernandez Jones.
Well, one of the Mallory boys who played at Michigan, Kurt, is coaching down there on defense, and they're a team that's going to play very hard, try to prevent big plays, and they're going to play with a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of intensity.
One of the things about going on the road, too, you got to have a road mentality. Have you talked to your team about how you create that road mentality?
I have, but they weren't listening.
Now, that's the last answer I expected from you.
Well, I've got to do a better job, that's for sure. But the truth is, as you get into this conference, you understand to win the championship, you got to take care of business at home, and then you got to be able to go on the road. We got 4 road games in the Big Ten. This is the first test, and we've got to bring the same intensity to Bloomington that we brought to Ann Arbor on this Iowa game.
As you look ahead in how your team is progressing, offensively you call it a work in progress. Where do you want to keep growing, especially in the offense? The defense looks, like they're pretty solid.
Well, Jim, we turned the football over twice in the Iowa game. That's too many times, but at least both times we're at the other end of the field. We didn't put our defense in bad field position. We got to continue to improve running the football, and I think we will. We've got some guys up there that are big and strong, and they're gaining confidence, and so is Michael Hart. We got to get some more help at the running back. We got to get David Underwood and Jerome Jackson going.
Our defense is such these days where they run all these blitzes and they load the line of scrimmage, tough in pass protection.
Well, absolutely, and that's why you've got to have some plays where you protect the quarterback, you keep somebody else in, you keep a tight end, because if you're getting that kind of stuff, now a young quarterback has got, because they disguise those things.
Right.
You don't know when they're coming. So it's an experience factor, and we got to work every single week to give them more experience.
And you'll get it done. I'm sure you will.
Well, we'll be working at it.
They sure will. I hope you're working it watching Michigan Replay next week, because we're coming your way with a replay of Michigan versus Indiana. That's coming up next week right here, same time, same place on Michigan Replay.
Michigan Replay has been brought to you in part by The Joy of Pepsi and by Big Boy Restaurants. Big Boy makes you say, oh boy.
Ticket to the Black and Blue division is FSN.